We are live. We are live.
Do it
Good evening,
live.
ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Grand Central Sports Hub. It's Thursday evening. You know what that means. Your friends are back to discuss. Who knows what we'll be discussing over the next hour or so. Seems like we've all retreated indoors this evening. It is like a monsoon here in Virginia. So Jay-Z with you here from inside in Virginia. Mr. Soriano, you're inside in Utah.
Yeah, it's been snowing for the better part of 5 days now. So no accumulation really, except up in the ski resorts. So if you like to go careening down a hill to your death, like a member, like Sonny Bono or a member of the Kennedy clan.
Just remember, if you don't go and get the thing on your jacket, you can't talk about it when you're at the
you don't have the ticket.
You gotta have all the tickets. Take them off. It's like the marathon runners that put the sticker on their car, so you gotta be advertising it.
You gotta put the real, hard to get to ski area thing on the back of your Jeep Grand Cherokee.
So it's been snowing for 5 days. How many inches you got?
That's a personal question.
We'll save that for another show. We have just had dustings, fortunately. But it is cold and windy.
Cold? That's not good.
I've got the gas fireplace going on down here. So.
Oh, I got gas too, but it's not a fireplace. So what are you drinking this evening?
Drinking good old Basil Hayden's Kentucky Straight Whiskey bourbon.
Yeah, it's been a week, huh?
This bottle's almost gone.
That's good stuff. So I think that's Basil Hayden's on my favorite, top couple.
Very smooth.
It's very, very good, and the price isn't ridiculous, right? So it's good value for your buck, says the Jew.
Yeah. Well, you said it.
Yeah. So Diamond Dan, you're going to be indoors till June.
Yeah. Hello, friends. Yes.
Right.
That's probably about right. Winter has begun here. We had some nice weather over the last couple of days. Did watch some events over the weekend, including the final race of the NASCAR season outdoors, where the great 24-year-old Chase Elliott prevailed at plus 275 for the championship and plus 6 something for the race win. So
you nailed that one. You nailed that one. I got my uncle to bet it. He got it. So if anyone followed your advice or last week for Chase Elliott,
I missed the show last week. So.
You missed last week. We did discuss though. I did say Chase Elliott.
But once again, another weekend closing value with the New York City Football Club. That and plus 3.5.
Matt loves your soccer. Matt loves your soccer betting. By the way, he's into it
because we got internationals this weekend in Europe. So and the COVID situation isn't getting any better there as it isn't here. So Premier League will be back in action on the 21st.
I might have to get into it because here's the problem now, especially with races being over. What else on the weekend? You got your Sunday football and the Giants. The Giants are actually in the running for first place, but we'll get there later.
Forget that we have 2 golf majors. One is in progress, the greatest major of them all, and then you'll have a U.S. Open is in like 3 weeks or something, right? So.
Yeah. What do you?
Don't you guys like Highlight, right?
Highlight is down in Rhode Island.
Don't they play that down in Boca too? Highlight.
Yeah. I don't know what that
you
is.
Can't play that if you're a lefty. It's right-handed only.
Really? I'm screwed.
Hello. It's very dangerous.
Dan, what's your beverage tonight?
So, in your honor, I'm drinking all beers from Virginia.
Oh, right.
So, doing a little bit of the, beer trading market, and I've got Triple Crossing tonight from Richmond, a little brewery down there, pretty good stuff. And we're also here to celebrate the fact that Other Half. Sorry, my 2-year-old can't get out the door here. Connor is stuck. You could just go around, buddy. Just go through the kitchen. So we're celebrating that Other Half Brewing is now opened a facility in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, so actually I'm going to do a beer review this evening, but I do want to discuss Other Half real quick. I made my first haul run at Other Half. So Dan introduced me to Other Half in our trip in February, right before COVID. into DC when we were. I'm sorry, in New York when we were in Brooklyn. Someone's echoing. I don't know who. We think we're good. So we went in February. It was nuts. It was packed wall to wall of people. Now it's like, oh, you would do that, right? But it was some of the best beer I've ever had. There was one of them. I think it was like Cookie Crunch cereal that was like a beer. It was 15% alcohol content. It was insane, right? So good stuff there. It was excellent. So they just opened in DC, and I went yesterday and I got myself a bunch of stuff.
And that's curbside only, right? They don't have the facility open.
Not yet. They're doing weekend outdoor seating for Other Half. I am not going to review an Other Half beer tonight because, to be fair, I tried them all last night, and I was like, I can't do a beer review if I tried them all last night. But they're all fantastic. Strawberry.
Strawberry. All right. What?
Strawberry Crunchy was like a good humor strawberry shortcake bar, which I know you like, Matt. I know you like it.
I do, but I just want to point out that in the Fine Film Beer Fest, strawberry beer was the ladies' diet beer.
All right, so listen. Did you like Ecto Cooler as a child? High C Ecto Cooler?
No,
neither one of you.
I didn't drink Kool-Aid either.
Daydream So Hard is the name of the one that it basically looks and tastes like an adult version of High C Ecto Cooler.
But if that's what was being served at your table, it explains Danny perfectly. The sugar content.
Let's get down to business.
In the same way I approach coffee. Coffee should taste like coffee.
Like coffee, yeah.
Beer should taste like
cream, sugar. I'll tell you, and if she's listening, I just want to say, Lindsay, I love you. But our office manager, when I was like, hey, could you get some half and half? She's like, sure, what flavor? And I'm like, half and half.
No, I agree with you with that.
Well, what about mini moos? Those are cheap. Half and half. Cream.
Or whipping cream. Half and half. Either one of those.
Just half and half. Not. I don't want to get whoever who wants like the almond joy, whatever. I just want cream and sugar in my coffee.
I don't even put sugar in my coffee. Okay. All right. So, I got this glass of Other Half. All right.
That's a wine glass.
No, it's not.
Jason's.
Hi, Andrew. This is the 21 and over version of the show. So I am going to be reviewing a Firestone limited release chocolate cherry stout.
That sounds good.
It does. This kid knows.
I have to leave.
Goodbye.
So chocolate cherry stout. Apparently, this is from California. I don't have any other information about the brewery or the beer, but I don't know what else information you need than chocolate cherry stout.
Are you going to swirl it and stick your nose in it?
Firestone Walker Brewing Company. Has anyone heard of that? I don't think so.
I've heard of their tires.
Got a Wegman.
And if you put them on a Ford Explorer, you roll over.
It's Firestone Walker, genius.
Firestone Walker. That's what I said.
Oh.
I can't even. We'll see as the night goes, but the initial reaction is the chocolate stout part, that's there. The cherry, I don't know. Maybe that's a good thing.
It's a hard hitting interview. That's yeah.
But if you're advertising as a chocolate cherry stout, then your advertising's wrong. The drink itself is good, and we're getting to stout weather. It's definitely going to be. Well, Dan's in like stout weather for the last month.
Well, apparently so is Matt.
And so is Matt. Yeah.
I like stouts no matter what time of year.
You like the peanut butter one, so
I just like stouts in general.
I don't usually. They're too heavy now for me. So yeah, we'll just do. It's good. It's kind of generic. So we'll go like a 3.5 mugs on the Firestone chocolate cherry stout. So that's my word. I'm sticking to it. I was hoping for more cherry. Oh well, what can you do? Can't win them all. So there's a football game tonight. Dan, I want your take on the line. I don't understand it. And it's kind of 2 weeks ago we had the same problem. So what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, the Colts have the number 2 rated defense in the NFL against the run. The Titans defense the Titans offense is Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
So I think the odds makers here are taking the hedge on Derrick Henry either running out of gas or they're just inability to matriculate down the field. And as much as I hate Phillip Rivers, he has more options, and I still think the Titans are going to win tonight. I'd take the 1.5.
Yeah, Tannehill's not bad. Tannehill's been playing pretty darn well.
I mean, Derrick Henry is this is like what we talked. I don't remember if we talked about this 2 weeks ago or not. If I had a dream about this, it seems like every game, every year, everybody's like, "Oh my God, Derrick Henry, what a revelation! He's like so good." I'm like, people knew he was a beast all the way back into college when he was in Alabama. So, it's not like this guy just airdropped out of anywhere. But I would take, and this is, as Jason and I are very familiar with, this is a AFC Central matchup. This is a division game with control of the division in the air, because the last time we were in Nashville and tried to go to a game, it got flexed and we all had to go home and go to the game, even though tickets were like $36. Did think about if I didn't have kids, I might have gone to that game. But I take the Titans, and now it's up to 2 points.
Would you?
Okay. I mean,
the money's swaying. Yeah, the money's going.
I'm looking live odds here on DraftKings. For New Hampshire.
Thanks for checking in, Spell. I'm glad you got your priorities straight.
Well, I mean, I can't blame them. But I would take the Titans in the 2 points. I mean, although if you take the Titans, fuck it, take the Titans on the money line at 104.
Well, the only thing is the Colts defense may be the second best in the NFL behind the Steelers, right? I mean, I have them in fantasy; they're fantastic. Is that the one thing?
What did I say when you asked me about tonight's game? The Colts have the second-rated offense in the NFL against the run behind Pittsburgh.
Maybe I paused you for a second.
Yes, but I do think Derrick Henry can overmatch basically anybody.
Yeah, I would agree.
It's going to be a good test. Now, for the Colts defense, though, because I followed so closely, being that I have my fantasy team, they've had 1, 2, 3 games this year. They've sacked the quarterback over 3 or more times. They have 3 games with at least 2 interceptions, right? Fumble recoveries in their last 2 games. I mean, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and I still think like a division game. This is an entertaining Thursday night game in Nashville. It's probably warm unless it's raining there. I don't know. Does anybody know? If it's raining, it's probably a monsoon from this Hurricane Beta or whatever the hell it is. That postponed the Masters this morning. So I don't know if it's moved in, but Darius Leonard. Let's just say it's going to be Darius Leonard and Derrick Henry all night, and who wins that battle wins the game.
It's a good game. Watching the pregame right now. We've got the Fox pregame. 4 Titans picks, and only one for the Colts. So
yeah,
on board with this.
You should watch something else. This is a good opportunity for you in your retirement to start binge watching. Don't watch the game.
I do recommend Ozark if you're into the.
Do you even want to clue our fans into what happened last weekend, or you don't even? Do we even need it?
It wasn't last weekend. It was fucking Monday.
Well, last weekend's games, Monday counts. Listen, I say I don't even try to cause problems. I say what I'm thinking, and then when I'm thinking, the opposite happens.
Right. Well, I mean, for what it's worth, and not in your defense or anything, but the Lions last Sunday were quite difficult.
This week too.
Okay, but the Jets had the fucking Patriots on the rope. Okay, and it was like, the refs counting to 8, 9, and then Mr. Jewy over here, like Mr. Fuji, comes with the fucking chair and slaps the ref with the steel chair at the third quarter and says, "Oh man, the Jets are really trying to lose the first pick here."
Hey, it cost me too, Matt. So I don't know.
I get it. I had the Jets for $50 at plus 366.
That would have been a nice little
it would have been.
But
The Jets give up what was it? A 17-point lead at that point.
Just right after I said what I said, it just went to shit.
It was 20-3 at the half, right?
Yeah. This was like around the start of the third quarter. I mean, it was just ridiculous. So I shut the game off because I knew what was going to happen, and I turned it on with 10 seconds to go, and New England at their own 40 tied, and then they make it to their like 32 and kick a fucking field goal with 2 seconds to go.
I think I thought Belichick was trying to blow the game intentionally at first. I was like, no, Gase doesn't even have to try to blow the game. He's even better at it than Belichick.
Well, I don't think Belichick doesn't do that, right? And I know he hasn't been in that position in 15 years.
They're just bad. Patriots are just bad.
The Patriots are bad. I mean, their defense is getting older and their front is not as good as it used to be. They've lost pass rushers. They've lost linebackers. They have no running backs. Their best running back plays for the Giants as it is, and he doesn't even get used in Dion Lewis. I mean, Burkhead is a versatile back. You don't have, what's his name? Not, I keep thinking Wes Welker. Who am I thinking of? The other, he's hurt. Edelman. Julian Edelman is out.
They're the same guy. That's why they're the same person.
But then again, that's not like that. That scheme obviously works for McDaniel. And the Patriots offense, but that doesn't necessarily work for Cam Newton.
Cam Newton sucks.
Well, I think you're having here Cam Newton on the back end of his career is a lot different than Tom Brady at the back end of his career. Obviously, and this is the mixture of two systems where you have a mobile quarterback who grew up in that ACC SEC rivalry, played in the NFC South, and is now in the AFC East and has lost games to the Bills and almost lost to the Jets.
In retrospect, I'm not sure Cam Newton had a front end to his career either. Or it's very quick.
He did go to he went to a Super Bowl, did he not? I mean,
now he just
got clobbered, but he went there.
And then he
with Riverboat Ron
fucking got hurt, and he's never been the same.
Yeah, I get it, but I don't know. Let's as for tonight, I think it'll be an interesting matchup. I'll be looking. I'm assuming the game has started or is about to start.
It's about to. Joe Buck is in a flasher coat tonight.
I don't know what that is.
A trench coat? I have one of those.
So that means
I'm not shocked.
That means it's cold and damp. Football.
Cold and moist.
Talking about how we're going to put you through college.
Yeah. You have a couple more weekends like you did last weekend, and you might.
Well, we have to pour one out for New York's hometown hero, 'Tis the Law, ending his career with a big loss against Authentic yet again. So
that didn't go the way it was supposed to. Who dressed it? Well, what was your line, Matt?
He said you look like Ray Hanley and Dan looks like Dan Reeves.
Okay, this is not a vest. Okay, it's a
Dan Reeves, former coach at the University of Utah, by the way.
Yeah. And the current coach was extended, a long extension for.
I mean,
they really don't have a choice.
If we can just jump back to the Breeders' Cup for a minute, I really enjoyed this class of horses. We had and Stevie came on and talked about some of these horses over the year, and it was really quite a feat to get Saratoga through the door. Run a Belmont, sort of run an amended Triple Crown and a Breeders this year. So I think the field on Saturday at the Breeders' Cup was really diverse. Although there were several Baffert horses and Mr. Baffert ended up winning once again with Authentic, and it was it was almost wire to wire on the mile, and that was a mile and a half. So it does, and there were bullshit allegations about doping and drug using and
they'll always be.
There will always. I think this year was a good year. excuse me for horse racing. I think more people tuned in because they had nothing to do over the summer, and hopefully that continues because it was the big races, and even there's a stakes race every day at Saratoga during the summer, and then there's a couple in Keeneland as this weekend or this past week of the Breeders' Cup. I just think it's good for the sport, and I hope that we'll be on the rail at Saratoga next summer.
Whenever the Baffert horses run strong and win, there's going to be a suspicion based on the past.
I mean, Pat Day said it clear as day the other. He was commenting at Keeneland, and he said this guy for over a decade, for better or worse, has been the face of horse racing, and he has a memorable appearance, obviously, and if something does come up like that, it gets extra scrutiny. But sure. I mean, authentic one of a straight out, Kentucky Derby and. Or was it the Preakness, whatever? I know the Derby, and won pretty handily in a deep field on Saturday. So, people were still putting. And Tiz the Law ended up going off as the 2-1 or a 5-2 favorite, which was surprising to a lot of people. I did have my, ducats down on Tiz just because I knew it would probably be his last big race, but he just wasn't. He got squeezed and ended up out of the money. So
Tiz is going to go father some baby horses now, right?
I would assume that's the plan.
Yeah. So what's the next? So while we're on this, before we transition to the Masters, if I'm obviously a casual horse guy, what's the next big race I should be looking forward to?
You'd have to figure it out, but I don't know if the Alabama Derby or the Florida Derby is first next year. I believe it's the Alabama or whatever it is. I don't even remember. But there's
Arkansas in the spring.
Arkansas. That's
okay.
So you got the Alabama's a race in Saratoga.
But as far as the big ones next year, what are we looking at now for the timeline for? Who knows if we'll have fans? But
I mean, everything's supposed to. This is the. And then we'll talk about this too when we get to the Masters. But the presumption now is that everything's just going to go off at normal time, and to that point. 3 of the next 6 golf majors will be at Augusta and will be Masters tournaments. And we can talk about that later. But, thinking that, you'll still have the Derby and everything will go back to normal. But you've got Arkansas, you've got Santa Anita, you've got the Haskell. There are races. That's an Aqueduct. And then the Florida Derby. So really those are the races that will narrow. That's funny. They'll neck down the field to the Derby, and then all of these horses will be, accumulating points to go to the Breeders' Cup and, qualify for these bigger Triple Crown races and then for the Travers.
Okay.
I actually think if the Triple Crown had been in its natural position this year, that Tiz probably would have had a shot at the whole thing. And I personally want to see it go back to normal next year. Hopefully, now that we've got at least some arms around this fucking virus, we can figure out how to do it. We
do. But I think here's the thing with horses or golf. I think it can go into the next. You can recover when we're talking the team sports and the sports that went so long, like basketball and hockey. And we'll talk later. That affects the next season quite substantially in the start of. But I think a horse, I think a golf, and I think they can get back on schedule.
Well, I mean, that's a pretty good segue to if we're going to talk about golf because, a lot of these guys, a lot of the field at the Masters have been playing shitty golf and they haven't really been playing tournaments, very regularly. I mean, some guys have played at Houston last week, but I mean, the Masters, I'm a golfer, you're a golfer. The Masters is that thing around Easter that really starts your summer, and having it kind of out of whack this year is very strange. And to see Augusta National not only in the fall but without patrons, as they call them, because God forbid you call them fans.
I want to go. Let me tell you. And again, I'm a casual golf guy. Like I'm a casual
golfer lover.
but the Masters is on my very short bucket list of sporting events that I would love to attend.
Yeah, I mean, you and every other guy on earth. So, seeing the golf course, which we've never been to. Without people at it is almost jarring. And I think what TV doesn't do, of all of these sports, like it's very hard to see a stadium with no people in it and to hear the players and all that kind of stuff. But here you have, somebody nails a 50-foot putt and there's there's no sound, right? And I mean, the Roars of Augusta, as our friend, Mike Francesa would say, are not present. And it's strange. And I think what TV doesn't compel over the screen is just how daunting and how difficult that golf course really is. And now if there's, when you have hundreds of thousands of people or tens of thousands of people that aren't on the grounds, you see sort of the different camera angles and the views of just how severe some of those hills are, how difficult the greens are, and, just what a special place Augusta really is. This year, you had a 3-hour rain delay this morning. There was the remnants of that hurricane that went through to the point where there were puddles, and then there were guys already on the course, and they had to the horn went off and they had to come in. But you had puddles really on the greens, and even though Augusta is notorious for draining well, it was a sign that the course was going to be very, very slow, which is why today I watched some of it this afternoon until it got dark. This is the other thing that you're contending with now. There's the sun now at 5:30 when you got to go back inside and can't play golf anymore.
That's a good point. I have a tee time on Tuesday at like 2:30 in the afternoon. We're not getting 18 holes in, especially
right? Of course, you went for the twilight rate, you cheap fuck.
I didn't book this, but another retiree did. So, I mean, does that make sense? So
you're racing.
Okay.
So they went out in threes today, and started guys on the first and the 10th holes. So you're playing the course almost backwards. If you started on the 10th, so like Tiger, John Rahm, some of these top guys started on the back, and I don't think it obviously, Tiger Woods has probably played this course 100 some odd. What is it, 100 times, right? Between tournament rounds and practice rounds and whatnot. I mean, he knows these guys know how to play this course. And to that point, the greens at Augusta are always what gets people, right? And the putting, and, they're narrow, they're tight, they're undulating, they're tiered, all that kind of stuff. I mean, you had some guys making low scores today, and Paul Casey is in the clubhouse right now with the lead at 7 under. And, all those people, all those guys in Butler Cabin and whatnot, they don't want that. They don't want low scores at Augusta. So they're going to dry that course out tonight. And, it's supposed to be very nice over the weekend in Georgia, mid-70s, a little humid, but, not as bad as, say, May or April, when the Masters is typically played around Easter and Passover for you people. This is a challenge, and I think they needed to see how the course was going to play, and they needed to, after putting it off for so long, they weren't going to push it off. They were going to get guys on the course, right? And you had guys shooting. I mean, Justin Thomas, who's now, he didn't finish his round. I think he got through 12 holes, and he's 5 under. He is now the prohibitive favorite, and he hasn't even finished his first round. I mean, he came out of the gate and birdied the first 3 holes, I think. You had guys that were eagling 2, eagling 11, the shorter par 5s on the course that are reachable. And, Sunday pin placements will be more difficult. But, there were balls that guys hit that maybe would have jumped off of a hill and into the gallery, or the patrons, as they say at Augusta. And there's nobody there. So it looks like you're playing a really fancy muni because there's no crowd. Obviously, that's an understatement. But, the ball would bounce into a crowd of people that have trampled the grass and all that kind of shit. And now you're playing a golf course that's in top condition. So the talk of this week, obviously, the other thing with having no patrons, and, the dilly-dallying they've done with the course is Bryson DeChambeau, because the guy's punishing the golf ball. U.S. Open winner. That's the other interesting thing, is the last 5 majors have been won by different people. What?
That's Matt. You never heard his text alert?
Oh, no.
So with that, no patrons.
Well, hold on. Let's just talk about it. So the thing is, DeChambeau wins the U.S. Open. He's now the hottest ticket in town, right? And he goes out there, and I think he posted a 3 under today. And his average drive ball flight was 334 yards. I mean, these guys can hit the ball long. That is monstrously long. So this is sort of an inflection point, I think, for golf, in that, are the Rorys and the Justin Thomases, who are long hitters but are finesse golfers, are they out the door now, and you just attack golf courses and go out and win? And I mean, Tiger and Phil and some of those guys are in their own category, but the difference between like a Bryson DeChambeau who just goes out there and smashes the ball, and say like a Justin Thomas who goes out there and birdies the first 3 holes, is stark. And I think on a course like this, that is a challenge with no fans, is going to tell some stories when this weekend is over. And I mean, Thomas came out, and all these guys are cool as a cucumber too, because there's nobody there to rile them up, or there's nobody yelling at them or screaming mashed potato or any of that bullshit.
So that's
you do that stuff at Augusta where you get thrown out.
Well, that's my question. So I didn't watch today, but was the presentation, again, this is a Masters. I understand they're not going to go outside the box for this tournament, but I have a thought for the next one, which is the U.S. Open, right? So for this, was the presentation pretty much the same, just with no fans, would you say?
It was similar, yeah. I mean, I think you have different camera angles, and remember that CBS, it has the the death grip on the Masters like they do the NCAA tournament, but the first 2 rounds are on ESPN. So you have Vern Lundquist and you have the CBS crew sort of out there, but it's just a different presentation. In the Masters, Augusta tightly controls how it's presented on television.
Yeah.
For a number of reasons, it's not like a beach party like the fucking U.S. Open or the PGA or any of that. And they go out of their way to make it stodgy, but it's the way it is, and that's what makes it what it is.
So my thought on the U.S. Open would be a great opportunity. Listen, I think one of the best events earlier this year was the Tiger, Brady. What was it? Tiger, Brady, Phil, Payton, right? And they're doing another variation of this soon. And the way it was broadcasted, with the camera angles, the microphones, it was 4 guys just fucking playing golf like us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think? And it got great reviews, and I know part of it's the personalities that were playing, right? I mean, it wasn't a major tournament, it wasn't 4 golf guys, right? But do you think there's some way that there can be a shift in presentation for a standard golf tournament that embraces some of that? Because that was fantastic.
Well, I mean, I would just like to correct this and say that the next major behind this is the Masters again. But
it's all screwed up here.
The players,
they won't do it for the. I get it. It's not going to happen.
No. I mean, but so I look at what they do with the Waste Management Open in Phoenix. Right? Yeah. So like that, you have the Fun House, you have the 16th hole.
Yeah.
I mean, I played there in 2005. I want to say it was hotter than hell, but like it's it's on the backside of the golf course. So behind the 16th is, this like parallel to the 16th is an access road. So there's no golf. There's nothing out there, right? I mean, it's like a waste area. So, I mean, you could build what they've done is build they didn't have the Coliseum back then. And really what started that approach was the 2008 Super Bowl when you had the final round of the Waste Management Phoenix Open on the Sunday of the Super Bowl where the Giants defeated the Patriots and handed them their first loss of the season and shot Eli Manning to eternal glory.
I like to see stands. I like to see stands that are all throughout the fairway, and it makes just the environment, the noise. I know it's everything golf's against. But
until somebody gets killed with a fucking drive.
The thing is, Matt, to that point, like the ropes are tight around. Like I've been to U.S. Opens, I've been to other golf tournaments, and the ropes they're tight around the greens. And I mean, wayward shots do go into the crowd. So
yeah,
bring a baseball glove or something and have at it.
And I mean, the other thing is too, and I don't want to I'm not playing devil's advocate here by any stretch, but these guys are out there. I know it's hard to believe. I was thinking about this today. Is like they're at work, right? Like that's their job right now is to go out and play golf, and they're out. The stakes are high between 30th place and first place. The stakes are high between first and second place, and you go there to watch them do something you can't do. It's like that line in Up in the Air, when he's firing the guy from Juno, and he's like, "Why do we love sports stars?" And he's like, "I don't know, because they fuck supermodels." And he goes, "Why do kids love sports stars?" And he's like, "Oh, because they screw supermodels." He goes, No. That's why we love sports stars. And it's because they're doing something that is almost impossible to do without actually seeing it with your own 2 eyes. And that's like they're going to a golf tournament and watching these guys play and seeing them in their fitness and all that other shit is a lot different also than seeing it on TV. Because when you go out and play golf and then you go watch these guys play golf in person, it's like you're watching people do two different things.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I just thought there'd be an opportunity to do something. Something different with the TV presentation.
Well, so like today, there was a lot of low. The scores were low. People were going low, and like the ninth is almost a reachable par 4. And it's a closing hole, if you will, where a bunch of holes gather, at the golf course, and there would be a huge crowd there, and guys were, hitting their second shot, 120, 130 yards, and they were hitting it close, and the ball was not rolling. So another buddy of ours was joking with him earlier. He's like, they're literally going to go out tonight and pave the greens like with asphalt because the ball is not moving, and that's what they, it's like putting on a mirror.
They'll be out there at 3 a.m. knowing that.
Yeah, and they're going to talk. You can't put a tree on the fucking fairway in the middle of a tournament.
Well,
if they could do it, they would do it at Augusta. They'll be like, "How much is it? Fuck it, bring it in here." And they plan it over.
And make it 700 feet high.
Right, they'll have 40 guys out there planning. They'll be there before fucking.
I would love to go there. It's on the bucket list. I one day I don't know how you even get to go, but
there is a ticket lottery that no one ever wins. There are packages, that is offered by Augusta National in the Masters tournament. There is, a secondary market if you're willing to, spend your mortgage on going down there. The other thing about Augusta is that it's not really near anything. So, people rent houses. The nearest major metropolitan area really is, I guess, Savannah. As far as like an airport and hotels and like the traditional, like, courtyards, Hampton Inns, that kind of thing. Because like you're just driving down a state. Again, from what I understand in Augusta, like you're driving down a state highway, and then you just like you could whiz by it if you didn't know it was there, because Magnolia Lane is so long, and I'm sure that's part of the deal. But this is. I think we're in for. Justin Thomas got robbed today, I think, by having to condense his round and play. Start again tomorrow because he came out of the chute and was calm, cool, and collected, as they say, and he looked great. I'm not the biggest Tiger Woods fan on the face of the earth. He was kind of up and down all day, but a lot of times Tiger can get in his own head, especially, and he's a defending champion. I'm not going to take anything away from the fact he has 5 green jackets, and pulled one out of his ass last year when everybody thought his career was over. He played astounding golf last year, and the crowd obviously was behind him. There's that picture on the 18th green when they allowed the fans to go all around and he hits the putt, and it's like, I don't really think, Tiger is he's obviously a superstar. He brought a lot of people to the game. He revolutionized golf. I get all that. But again, these new big hitters have sort of transcended that. And I don't know. Bryson DeChambeau was all over the place today. And this tournament is won on the green. You got to get there, and then you got to make the putts. And yes, today was easy. A lot of plugs. You saw a lot of guys that would hit ball. These guys hit the ball hard, right? So a couple times, DJ, Rory, I think even Cameron Champ, like some of these guys in the middle, they're crushing their drives. But when they come in, they just stick. They don't bounce because the course was so wet, right? So you're not getting like roll. You're not getting John Rahm rolls on 16 like you did in that practice round the other day where he skipped the ball across the pond and it rolls, 100 yards and goes in the hole. Like that wasn't happening today. So if they can do everything they can to, dry out the course tonight, it's going to be dry over the weekend. Like I like Justin Thomas's chances. If Paul Casey, who's in posted a 7 under today, like these are low scores. He's not even in the top 5 on DraftKings right now in terms of favorites.
So Dan, before we move on to baseball, who is your pick? Well, give me a value pick and give me your pick.
So as a value pick right now, I like Xander Schauffele. I think he played a good round today. I think he's at 5 under in the clubhouse. He's again, without the fans and without the fan favorites, this could be anybody's tournament. Matt Kuchar, some of these guys, but I don't think Casey's going to be able to maintain. He's played some shitty golf coming into this. And I would have to say that Justin Thomas right now, based on his performance this morning and this afternoon, rather, he's going to be tough to beat. If he comes out tomorrow and plays like he did when he came out today, he's going to be a tough ticket. And Vegas is responding to that.
We'll revisit this next week. I mean, those are the picks.
Yeah, I mean, I like Xander Schauffele, and his name. Oh, you know who the other one is? Let me think about it for a second, because he looks so much different now than he used to, and I'm blanking on his name because you put me on the spot there. The Titans are up 7-0. By the way, I'm changing the subject. Hang on. Was it Henry that scored?
That's a good question.
Hang on. I've got a really good value pick if I could just freaking think of it. And I won't. Everybody wants to talk about. Wait. Let me just look it up. Webb Simpson at plus 2,200. Webb is at 5 under right now, I believe. He played a good round of golf today. He's a steady hand. He was getting a little older, but that's my value pick at 2,200. And I got to go with the favorite, Justin Thomas. Like I said, if he played like he did today, and I don't know what he came out at. Let's see. Justin Thomas, so Paul Casey right now is plus 120 as the leader after round 1. And Thomas is right behind him at plus 150 because he hasn't finished yet, right? So it's pretty much down to those two. DJ, I mean, I'm just looking at the list here. Fleetwood at plus 5,000, I don't like that. Cameron Champ at plus 5,000. Oosthuizen, he's old. He is he's a former champion.
of Francesa trying to say Oosthuizen. That was amazing.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Webb Simpson plus 2,200 and Justin Thomas at plus 500.
It was a Tannehill pass that put the Titans up 7-0. So from golf, let's bring it back to baseball. A big event Tuesday for Met fans, Mr. Soriano, your man, your savior, your god. Stevie Cohen had an introductory press conference on Tuesday. Why don't you sum up from Mets fan perspective what you heard, what you liked, anything you didn't like, and what you expect now after this on Tuesday? I mean, let me tell you, I'm not a Mets fan. I want to buy a Mets hat.
Don't.
I want to run through a wall for this man.
Buy a Mets hat. Buy 5 Mets hats.
I am excited for you. What did you feel watching this?
I will publicly say right now that I will cause you great physical harm if you buy a Mets hat.
I know you will.
There's nothing. First of all, Steve Cohen. Is there nothing more typical middle-aged New York Jewish man than this guy getting like right on and talking about how his trophy wife is going to be a great asset to the team?
I missed that. I didn't even hear that part.
Like his first part was like, we're going to have the Mets Foundation and Alex is going to run it and you guys are just going to love her. Just good on him for bragging. It's really nothing not to love. I mean, the guy gets on and the first thing he talks about is, his first game was in '62 at the Polo Grounds. He used to go to the upper deck at Shea, which I don't think I ever sat up there. The highest I ever went to was the mezzanine. But me and my old man used to always sit at the loge, third base, which if you're going by color, for those of you not familiar with Shea Stadium, it's the blue seats.
I missed ballparks and arenas that had tiered colors. So they had it at Shea, Madison Square Garden pre-first renovation, had like
Green
4
seats.
different colors: green, red, yellow, right? Dodger Stadium still really does, and that's the only one. Anyway.
Yeah. But and then he talks about how his father-in-law Ralph hasn't missed a Mets home game in like 25 years. He's one of these old alpacaas that still walks around the stadium with the hat and the jersey and shuffles around the ballpark like just some regular schmo. And he's like, I'm not doing this for money. If you don't know, he owns 72 Capital Partners. That's his hedge fund. And he's like, that's where I make my money. This is to give something, happiness to millions of people, which literally like Jesus Christ. And he's doing it for the fans. He is a fan and he's doing it to give something back to the fans. And that really sums up what his mantra was. He said, he expects multiple World Series and to be a perennial contender within the next 3 years. And he believes in analytics. He uses it in everyday business. He wants to use the Dodgers model. So
the Dodgers model is the best balanced model between analytics and on-field observations. But what I loved here was he's the owner, and he wants to know what's happening or have a seat at the table, but he's going to let his guys work. Sandy Alderson and the guy under, whoever that is, under Sandy, they're running the team, right?
Yeah,
Steven
well, they're talking
the cash.
By the way, listen to your uncle.
Hey, Casey, you're welcome, by the way.
Yeah, for the Chase Elliott bet.
They're going to hire – the rumor is now they're going to hire the guy that Jeter made that racist firing with out of the Marlins because Jeter's a real scumbag. Michael Hill.
Right. Yep. Highly regarded guy.
Yeah. But,
Omar Minaya is available.
I love the house. I'm sorry. I know we back up. I know we're backing up.
Within an hour of the closing, everybody was gone.
Snapped, and it was like someone said it was like a Thanos snap, and it was like, get out, everyone out.
Well, I know you don't really understand that, but or maybe you do, but and it's appropriate that I'm wearing my Michael Corleone shirt, but they said in the post, they said, Sandy Alderson did his best Michael Corleone impression. Within an hour of taking control of the team, he settled all family business. Everybody was gone. Everybody who was leaving was gone.
How giddy is Alderson right now? He worked for this team under miserable circumstances with no money for years. He's a good baseball mind. He wasn't allowed to do anything he wanted to do. And this is like his fucking revenge.
Yeah, and he openly flirted with Trevor Bauer on during the press conference. They said in the post yesterday that players are telling their agents to call the Mets.
It's
not just about them. It's not just about the money. They really are attracted to the culture that was set in that press conference. Even Stroman picked up his
qualified
option
for 1 year, and he's betting on himself to have a good year instead of signing a long-term deal. And you have Thor out there just tweeting out porn today, pretty much, of his workout. And then his whole thing is, I love this. I love everything. I love everything. I love Stevie Cohen. I was like, this is crazy. But this is the stuff, like I said, we said it a week or two ago, that the Yankees are frustrating me with because of their culture and how non-friendly to fans and really for players to come in. What's the attraction right now for the Yankees? Because they're not winning, right? And what's the attraction for free agents? What's the attraction for anyone to go there right now, as opposed to working for an owner that like Stevie Cohen right now? I agree with you. And Thor is going to recruit. Thor is going to be the guy to bring people in.
I think a lot of players are going to do that. But I think that they're not going to be afraid to hold on to young guys that they really believe in. They're not going to be afraid to make moves, and they're not going to be afraid to be aggressive. And but I think they're going to be, he summed it up by saying, we're in a big market. We need to act like a big market team. And that's what the Mets have not done. The Mets have acted like the fucking Cleveland Indians with, except for having the shitty plane that pulls up.
Except for making the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, that too. Hey, it's been.
It is hard to believe that within 4 years, the Mets are in the fucking World Series, and now we're here, right?
Yeah.
Started at the top, and now we're here. I mean, I think it's exciting, though. I mean, good for you. It's about time people got excited about the Mets.
Hey, listen, if the old man was alive, it would be pushing the Yankees too. I don't know what his son's gonna do.
Re-sign trade Gary Sanchez for, I don't know, Plaxico Burress.
Well, I just think this is going to be an interesting thing to watch now with free agency and to see what their first splash is. Because is it going to be a trade like Lindor or a big signing like Bauer? Right? I might as well just jump off a cliff. It's possible.
The Yankees signed Garrett Cole, and he won 2 games in the ALCS. And
But the Yankees are, I say, all because they signed Garrett Cole, they can't go out here and be like, oh, we can't get anyone else. What's the purpose of signing Garrett Cole if you're not going to surround him with anyone else?
Well, now that they signed Garrett Cole, and then all their revenue dried up to pay the guy. So
yeah, I mean,
I don't want to hear about
play. No. I mean, the presumption was that he was going to play a 162 game season, and the offense was going to play 81 games at fucking home, right? And like, there's 80 fucking wins right there. So in a weird season, and for some reason, they didn't play the Red Sox enough to be competitive. It is what it is, right? So maybe next year. But I mean, the fact that, and I think that, no offense, Matt, but Mets fans have been starved for some sort of excitement that comes home. Cy Youngs and things like that are great, individual accomplishments, but that doesn't do anything for the team. So go out there and be competitive. And now you've got the Braves in the division, you got the Phillies in the division,
the Phillies are crashing and burning.
But and the Nats won a World Series 2 years ago. Or last year, depending on how you look at it, right? And I mean, granted, they're probably on the back end, and they did what they had to do to win a World Series when they did. And now the Mets are looking for a little sustainment. So let's see what happens.
So my question for Matt, there was news today about Yadier Molina, the Yankees and the Mets kicking the tires. But let me give you a couple options here. Let's say you're getting Trevor Bauer. Let's say that you are going to get Bauer, and your second move, you can have Bauer and Lindor, or Bauer and Real Muto. What would you prefer?
Bauer and Real Muto. They've got young shortstop prospects.
I just think Lindor is electric. Lindor's a different level player.
Okay.
I don't know, but I also understand
you also pulled JT away from a division rival too.
You also want to solidify the catching position because that is very hard to do.
Obviously, the Yankees are a perfect example of that.
I'll trade you Gary Sanchez.
Well, I mean, who else is an example of that is the Nationals. I mean, they Kurt Suzuki and the Buffalo there. What's his name? The kid that got kidnapped.
Ramos.
They have viable careers, but I'm thinking about your fantasy baseball draft, right? Like, where does it get shallow the quickest? I mean, clearly it's like second base and fucking catcher. So
yeah. Well, and actually, some guys in the post said that even Sanchez might be a good fit for the Mets. Maybe he needs a change of scenery.
Just like Robbie Cano, right?
Need something.
Wow.
I don't think that's I don't think that's true now, because with the purchase, the pressure will be on the Mets to perform, and if they bring in Bauer or a Lindor or a Real Muto or a whatever, a JD Martinez, there's going to be pressure on that team to perform, and that's not what Sanchez needs.
Well, you've got Stroman back. You should get Thor back in July.
I would love to see Marcus Stroman and Gary Sanchez try to work out their differences. That would be funny.
All 5 feet 6 of them.
Well, I mean, the two of them, I don't think Gary Sanchez has 5 brain cells to fucking rub together.
No, it's freaking ridiculous.
Look, when Gary Sanchez connects, he gets the ball far. But I mean, the problem is the question remains, does he play hard? Does he care? Is he in? Yeah. Is he bought in? I do think that part of there's a good chunk of that team that is bought in. Sanchez, and I don't know who would take his contract, but whatever.
Maybe Rojas would be a good manager for him. I don't know. I don't know Rojas well enough. We know that Boone's not going to be a guy that challenges him to be better, and we know that's not going to work.
Titans plus 1.5, still looking pretty good, huh?
Looking good, but still looking good. The Colts going to kick a field goal here. So a couple of things in other sports. Now, basketball and hockey are finalizing their plans to start, but it's not quite 100%. We'll hit it next week because hockey might ratify tomorrow, and basketball seems to have just come out yesterday or earlier today. So let's let this come out. We'll hit it next week with a full-on, this is what next season looks like, because there's some things up in the air here. So we'll hit that next week as part of probably most of the show.
Can I just
and-
ask, like, real quick? I mean, so, a preemptive question, I guess, is that, the NBA announced they're coming back on the 22nd of December.
Yep.
Right. As we did discuss on this program, there are sports that own holidays. And, the NBA obviously has an investment in Christmas, that
totally
Christian holiday, celebrating the birth of our Lord and LeBron James.
So
Is the plan to stay in the bubble, or are they playing in their individual arena?
I think the NBA is doing arenas. The NHL is talking about possible regional areas. Is what's on the table. A modified situation. I'm not sure, but the players aren't going to be okay with being locked away for 80 games. Or the NHL is saying now 50-game season.
Well, I mean, if you're going to do a bubble, you have to be considering people. These are people at the end of the day, right? So doing it for the play. I mean, look, you got the. I'm not comparing the NBA and NHL to MLS, but or to baseball for that matter. But like they seem, MLS is traveling around. The funny thing is like Toronto's team couldn't play, and like Vancouver, they couldn't play at their home arena because you can't get into fucking Canada.
Well, with the hockey, they're going to do a Canadian division. They're definitely realigning divisions for regional, just like baseball, where they just played regional teams. That seems to be the way.
Called divisions, Jason.
Yeah, but baseball didn't do it right. They should have just realigned the divisions. That would have made more sense. The NHL is actually going to realign the divisions and do regional travel only. But that's the way it looks like right now. We'll see.
Good luck to Toronto playing Vancouver 8 times a year.
Yeah. Would the Caps be in the same division as the Rangers?
Probably, and that's hard because those are like the Rangers, Flyers, Penguins. That's a tough division. Islanders, whereas the Canadian teams,
Bruins.
I don't know.
The Metropolitan and the Atlantic divisions is like in the Eastern Conference. That's all they really.
I don't know. I give them credit for, they're gonna try to pull this off. Thomas, I'm sorry, I'm not criticizing. If you had tuned in earlier, you would have gotten your picks for the game and the Masters tonight.
Titans plus 1.5. The value pick at the Masters is Webb Simpson. And the secondary, the blue plate special pick is Xander Schauffele, and the front runner pick is Justin Thomas.
There you go. Thanks for the recap. Appreciate that. I'm sure.
I mean, I don't even get me started on fucking Tiger. I'm sure that there's, Tiger will make a run at some point, and I do think there is, again, you don't. And I'm not a professional at anything. Maybe I don't know. But, there's a lot of people at Augusta. It's a thing, right? And obviously certain golfers get bigger galleries than others. And I don't know if it does, how golfers, which is an independent sport, right? It is not a team sport. I mean, there's a caddy involved, but, this is an independent mind fuck sport. And I don't know how much a crowd makes a difference for people, but when guys emote on the golf course, they do it 50% for themselves and 50% for themselves, 25% for the camera, and 25% I think for the crowd. That extra 25% is missing right now, right? So there's nobody there unless you want to celebrate a bunch of fucking rich white dudes that are Augusta members that are hanging out and get the privilege of that is like the ultimate echelon of 1% to be able to go to the Masters that no one else can go to,
right?
Because you're a member of Augusta National, which is only open apparently 3 months out of the year. True story. My old barber's brother is one of the professionals at Augusta National. So
what?
She had some inside scoop, and there's a picture of St. Thomas of Brookline on the wall with her brother, Tom Brady, playing Augusta National. So I don't know. And then you have that it could give a golfer like Xander Schauffele or a Tony Finau or Cameron Champ or an amateur for that. Not that an amateur would win the Masters, but these guys that don't have huge followings, they just go out there and shoot their game and they play like a practice round. Except, I mean, there is obviously a stakes difference, between a practice round and one of the 4 rounds at the Masters. But, I just think they're going to be – it's going to be interesting what happens like on, tomorrow. Where the cut is going to be right now, I don't even know. I mean, the cut might be in the red, because you have so many golfers that are, above, under 1 under, which would really be interesting. And then moving day on Saturday gets interesting from a standpoint of, will people just, will these guys just go out and attack the golf course? Or are they going to be strategic? And I think, you had, you were talking about Bryson DeChambeau earlier, and that the fact that because he could bomb the ball, he's trying to cut corners on some of these dog legs. And, we were joking, but I wouldn't be surprised if they build like a tree at some of the corners of these dog legs. So he can't cut the corner and, can't reach a par 4 and 1. And, he came out and that was a strategy. It'll be interesting to see what happens. And then Sunday at the Masters, of course, is one of the greatest days on earth. And, taking nothing away from the fact that it's in November, they get a beautiful weekend. So this is going to be really interesting, is that you're going to have a possibly competitive Sunday at the Masters going up against football.
Well, and there brings me to my question, back to football for you. Before we get to our closing segment this week, what is your lock of the week?
Hang on, I got to look at my picks. Matt, you go first.
Matt, you have a lock of the week?
Well, I got to pull up my bookie's website, so hold on.
I got to look. I did my, you can't pick on Thursday for Sunday. It's just not.
These are some tough lines this week. Again, there's some competitive games and some games with lines that might be difficult. I'll go with mine first since you're not prepared.
Please do.
Steelers given 7.5 to the Bengals is the 8-0 Steelers. The Bengals are 2-5-1, and as good as Joe Burrow is, they're just not very good. So I'm going to pick the Steelers to go 9-0 as long as Big Ben is COVID negative. He has 1 test to take Saturday morning. If he passes that, he can play. Because he doesn't have it. He was exposed.
Is he going to take a chlamydia test while he's at it too?
But what was funny was this is how you know this is rigged. Watching the pregame show earlier tonight, Terry Bradshaw just yells out, he's passing, he's playing. And I'm like, of course he is.
I told you, the NFL doesn't give a fuck. At the beginning of the season, they're like, hey, Roger, how many tests have you done? And he's like, 1,000,000 bajillion.
So the Steelers will go 9-0. Who's next?
Okay,
Bills +2 over Carolina or over Arizona.
That's
Lock it up.
I like
take the 9.
I like
don't even take the points. We don't need them. Let's see what that's given. Go ahead, Matt.
That's actually pretty good. Fortunately for me, I don't have to worry about getting mushed because the Steelers line is blocked out thanks to the COVID test. So I don't have to worry about accidentally betting that. The Giants are +3.5.
I like that. I'm not gonna lie. I like that.
The Eagles are a train wreck, and the Giants do have a hell of a chance of winning that game or keeping it close.
It's for the division, man. It's for the division.
Let's fantasize real quick. If the Giants win,
easy on your words right there, boss.
Yeah, please.
Can we just hold on? Can we just talk about Buffalo +120?
Oh yeah.
Line? Don't take the points. Seattle +1.5. I like that too. Against who is it there that they're I forget.
Seattle defense is just not good though.
No, but I mean, look, the Bills made a statement last week, and the Bills played a flawless game against a tough competitor from outside their division in a potential Super Bowl matchup. Just and they hung 44 points in the fucking Seattle Seahawks. So that's pretty fucking impressive.
The Bucs are less than a touchdown favorite. And the money line for the Panthers is +205. That's a pretty good bet.
Talk about mad. Brady's gonna be mad.
If you're really a gambling man, I mean the Patriots +270 over Baltimore in Foxborough. Oof, boy, that's interesting.
That's offline for me too.
I don't think that's.
I would take the Giants +150 on the line. Why not? I bet against the Giants twice in a 4-way parlay. Won 3 games, lost the Giants twice. bet him on the money line last weekend. I win, and then Mush fucks me on Monday. So,
So the Giants would then go 3-7, and the Eagles would be 3-5-1. We all know the Redskins are losing to the Lions this week.
sure. I mean, I think also the lock of the week right now. I mean, the lock of the week could be the Titans at +2. You know, for all I know.
The game's going on. You can't bet that now.
I'm going all in on the Bills +120 money line over Arizona.
The Bears are also +2.5 over the Vikings.
You know, I had the Titans.
I had the Titans
North is over the Bears last week. And did the Bears score against the Titans? I mean, they were blanked at halftime. That's all I know.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Titans covered 6.5 against the fucking Bears. Fucking Foles. So the Bears, if this were 4 weeks ago, if this were 3 or 4 weeks ago, I would go in on the Bears. But the Vikings, they played well last weekend, so I don't know. I'm sticking with my Buffalo Bills and the money line. Let's get some money.
I like it. So Dan, you weren't with us last week, and we missed you dearly.
I apologize. I had real work to do.
I know. I understand.
Which landed me in quarantine, but you're here.
Yeah, I'm glad you're okay. By the way, we played a new game called Draft. I didn't have a really good name for it, so Matt and I played. You're going to play with Mr. Soriano. Basically, Start Bet Cut had 3 items. This has 4, and basically, if you're going to take turns drafting first. So if you draft first, you're going to pick your favorite as to why, and then Matt will draft second. You'll draft third, and the fourth one is kind of like the kid in dodgeball in elementary school.
I wasn't listening. Good night, Mr. Vizlaki. Sweet dreams, bro.
Good night, sir.
Wake up early tomorrow to catch the first tees at the first tee off at Augusta.
So basically, the first topic is. So I have 2 sports topics tonight that are both basketball related. I saved them for you.
What are we doing? I've lost my.
I'll explain again. You have 4 courts here. Okay.
Okay.
4 court designs. You're going to draft first. You have first choice to pick your favorite court out of these 4 and explain why or why not or why you picked that one first. Matt will draft second and pick what's left, his favorite of the 3, and you'll draft third, and that's how we'll get our top 3.
All right, well, I take the Rockets.
I love that court. Why are you taking the Rockets?
Because that's the summit, baby.
That's a freaking awesome court.
Before it was taken over by Joel Osteen. I have played on before it was at the summit when it was the old. That's why I don't like that logo. Not my favorite. And I go back to the old school basketball Rockets logo from when
that court was badass.
I played on that court in Houston at the summit, so that's my pick.
That I believe started this trend of outlandish courts in the 90s. The NBA then was like, hold on, guys, this is out of control. I think it had to take it back a notch. If I remember. So the 3 remaining courts you have left is the new Brooklyn Nets court from this past year. That's like this gray variation, very unique, no other color like it. The traditional honeycomb for where the hell do the Hornets play now? New Orleans Hornets? Who are they?
I think the Charlotte Hornets.
Charlotte Hornets? I don't even know. The Charlotte Hornets, honeycomb, and the Warriors with that bright yellow. So, Mr. Soriano, what's your pick?
Well, to your point about outlandish courts, I like the simplicity. So I'm going to go with Barclays. I think that looks sharp. And I do hope that when they wear the retro jerseys, they bring back the old East Rutherford style court for those games, just like the Jazz, have a different court for whatever jersey they're wearing. So I'm going to go with Barclays.
With the Brendan Byrne Arena logo in the middle now.
Yeah. Welcome to the Meadowlands Arena, everybody.
Don't mind the smell.
Yeah. Try not to, have a panic attack when you're trying to walk down the upper level.
Yeah. Or when you're leaving.
Yeah, seriously. I like that. I really did like what they did in Brooklyn with that court. It's really unique. So, Dan, you have a choice between the Honeycomb Hornets or the bright yellow Warriors to round out your team.
I'll go with the Warriors just because I want to stick Matt with whatever those FedEx Field farmhouse.
That fucking teal is horrible.
You don't like the teal? I
no,
love that.
Come on. It's not 1992 anymore.
See, I like the Marlins teal.
Muggsy Bogues.
It looks like Village of Spring Valley police car.
Or the one here, the Arlington County ones here. Same thing.
Terrible.
Okay, so you're stuck with the honeycomb. Interesting. I like the honeycomb. Forget the colors. I like the honeycomb. It makes sense, right?
Well, I think they're trying to rip off the parquet floor in Boston too much.
A lot of teams do that. You know who also had that? The Nets back in the Meadowlands had that look for a while. The fake parquet look.
The parquet, yeah.
Okay. So we have one more.
Did they try to do that at Barclays, or was that always that like?
I don't know. I think they may have.
Is
so
that
new basketball jerseys. No, that's a leaked. I guess they call them. I don't know what they call it. With the basketball teams have like 7 jerseys, so I don't even know what theme that one is.
But is that supposed to be a Minnesota Lakers jersey?
I don't know my basketball history.
Oh, maybe.
I'm gonna Google it right now. Well, Minnesota Lakers was, it was like baby blue and white. So, yeah, maybe.
I don't love it, but anyway, who drafted first last time? Dan, Matt. So the Knicks, okay. So the Minnesota Lakers, we think that's Minnesota. I don't know what that Knicks city. I think it's called a city jersey. I don't know what the hell that is. I don't know what's happening.
Well, New Yorker, if you were a real New Yorker and ate apples and all that other shit, you would know that the number one color in every New Yorker's wardrobe is fucking black.
But it's a roundel. It's weak. There's a roundel. It just says New York Knicks.
That's the center of the court.
I don't see that. The
I'm
number.
Jersey. I like it. It's
black. The Suns Valley. That's pretty cool.
With all due respect to our friend Mr. Cock, that is atrocious.
And then you have the Nets tie-dye. How cool is that coming back?
I'll take the Knicks.
You're taking that. What the fuck is that, Dan? He left you wide open. He left you all of the better options.
It's like Saquon falling to number 2 in the draft because I will definitely take the New Jersey Nets.
I love it. That's the God. So they got rid of that early 90s.
Keith
they never wore tie-dye. That's terrible.
It's not tie-dye. It's like they're like clouds, you know.
It's tie-dye.
Clouds in New Jersey. It's probably
it's like methane emissions. It's all.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's from the gas refineries.
It sums up New Jersey.
Yeah, it looks like Port Elizabeth. All the fog.
All right, so now we have the Suns and the Lakers. Back to Matt.
I'll take the Lakers. That Suns jersey is atrocious.
I win this draft, no doubt. I mean, the Valley, the Suns jersey is a little close to the old school Denver Nuggets jersey for me, but I think if you're gonna wear it on Christmas or once a season, so be it. I do like the connection back to Minnesota with the Lakers Showtime, though.
I will ask for your edification, Mush, I will ask the oldest Soriano niece who has an affiliation to the Knickerbockers what the significance of the jersey is. I will get our Madison Square Garden correspondent on.
I really appreciate that. Okay,
the Bill of Grand Central Sports Hub.
Those of you watching at home, this concludes the sports version of the show because we do tend to veer to other subjects, including food. So, Rice Krispie treats, animal crackers, Chips Ahoy cookies, or Oreos.
What does this have to do with me watching the football game?
Dan?
I'll take Chips Ahoy.
Oh, I don't know. Matt, you got Rice Krispie. Why would you take Chips Ahoy over Oreos?
I must be racist.
I literally don't like any of these fucking things.
I liked them when I was like 8.
Except for
Oh my god, it's not even halftime yet in this game. Jesus.
somebody at work bought the fucking the frosted animal crackers.
Yes. From Archway or whatever it is.
Yeah, get some of those. Yeah, I snuck some of those home for when I had to take my back pills. And those are delicious. So I guess I would take the fucking animal crackers.
Animal crackers for your pick. Interesting. And so between Oreos and Rice Krispie treats, Dan.
Fine, I'll take Oreos.
You gotta take Oreos.
Oreos are disgusting.
Although, now the Rice Krispie treats, if they're warm and you made them at home,
I wouldn't.
Okay, there, Rachel Ray. Another great Saratoga, New York product, by the way.
All right, we got one more for tonight, and we'll call it a night so we can watch football. I guess that's what's going on.
I got to get some sleep to get up early and watch the Masters.
Sleep. All right,
Ooh.
you got. I don't even get all the picture here.
Jesus.
Only 3 of them. All right, there's only 3, so it's a start bench cut. We're back to the old game. We've got French toast, waffles, or pancakes.
So is this start bench cut or is this
Start bench
Fuck.
personally? I am very much against the popular vote here. I fucking despise French toast.
Yeah, we don't agree here.
I think it's disgusting, but I will hammer some pancakes.
Short stack action.
And I hate to say it, but I'll kill some Johnny cakes. I hate to say it because of the company I'm in. So
Come on
I
up
would.
to New Hampshire where they,
That's right.
Get them for real.
That's right. I would start pancakes, bench waffles with peanut butter, and then you put them together, get that on the go, and then get rid of French toast. Just a horrible thing. That's it.
I don't know. French toast, when it's good, it's really good.
It's a souffle in a pan, and not a good one.
The texture. So you get the crispy part of the toast and the soft inside, and I feel like you get a better texture. You get really good texture on the French toast.
You have it on Sunday mornings with the challah?
Yes, challah French
Actually,
toast.
I'll give you this. My Mrs. Diamond makes a great French toast casserole that you get challah bread or you get Italian bread and leave it. There you go, Eric. See? And
you leave it overnight, right?
You leave it out overnight, and then you make it. You leave the bread out.
Well, that's like bread pudding, though.
Yeah, but you gotta, and then you let it sit in the eggs, and it seeps up that flavor, and then you get all that protein and cholesterol, and you smash it.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say that French toast is better for me when I make it for my kids at home than I would very rarely get French toast at a restaurant.
I had an egg slide, and I actually just closed it.
Yeah, but you know what?
I'm not sure what that means.
You're not a good, one of your, because you don't eat runny eggs and dunk the rye toast in it.
No, you're right. And that's the thing. Like, I know we're straight, and I had God damn it, where'd it go? I had an egg slide of type of eggs. Oh well.
What do you? I don't know what an egg slide is.
Well, this is a slide. This is a.
It sounds like something you'd find on Urban Dictionary.
I had a start bench cut eggs. Is what I'm trying to tell you.
An egg slide is when you hit it so hard that the ovary breaks free.
Okay. Oh
my God.
Can someone look that up on Urban Dictionary, see if it actually exists?
I'm trying to find the goddamn thing.
You guys are drunk.
I know.
There's omelet, poached egg, and cream egg, and I'm not reading any of these fucking definitions.
I don't know what's going on anymore.
Like a jelly donut.
I'm so confused. Oh well. Okay then. Well, that was fun.
God.
I know, like we say every week, it's we're reaching the end of the first half, so there's football that we watch tonight. So next week we'll talk about NHL restart, NBA restart, and we'll see what the Giants do this week, and then we'll review.
I think they're look, if they go out there and they play. I mean, here's the thing: is I'm tired of watching the Giants win 3 quarters, right? Actually, 2.5, because if it weren't for Blake Martinez, the Giants would have lost the game on Sunday against the football team. And the stat of the week is that Danny Dimes is 4-0 against the Redskins and 2-17 or something against everybody.
Right?
Isn't that something? What the fuck?
I hope that that changes, but you just.
I hate Phillip Rivers' smug face. Just cannot take it. It's even worse than white. Anyway, I mean, I might make if I have a lock on the Bills, I have a semi-lock on the Giants. I will say that they're gonna, the Eagles are all over the place. Granted, the Giants will do something to fuck up the whole program, but they need to close. The Giants do not close. And, if they can score enough points, like this is the problem with their Thursday night game against the Eagles, whatever it was, 2-3 weeks ago, right? They scored enough points, but the defense couldn't stay off the field. Oh, we found it. Oh, hallelujah.
I know we don't need, we can do a start bench cut. I know what Soriano's going for. I mean, it's a foregone conclusion, right?
Well, it depends. If those scrambled eggs are a little underdone, so they're still a little like runny,
they look underdone.
Then I would probably go with the scrambled.
I love it. I'm into that. I don't like the runny yolk.
You got to salt that yolk and get that buttery rye toast in there.
Mm-hmm. Or you could do like my Deacon John used to do the egg in the middle. You take a shot glass and take the bread out and you cook it right on the girdle. Put the egg in the hole, and you cook it like toast on the griddle with the egg in the middle. Oh, so good.
So my grandmother.
Go ahead.
My grandmother would do that with the round Italian bread.
Even better. I mean, great. Yeah. And I would take the hard-boiled egg out and put the soft-boiled egg in, because a bird's nest, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
We have a Star Wars cookbook in our house because of our 6-year-old. It's called Tatooine Toast, because you can make 2 of them, and Tatooine has 2 sons or some shit.
Next week, just for Casey, we'll do types of the Benedicts. He likes the Benedicts.
A soft-boiled egg. I would buy, if I could make a soft-boiled egg, I would buy the egg cups and just do that. Cigarette, newspaper, coffee.
Yep.
Soft-boiled egg and toast.
Yep. Done.
Yeah, nice. Just like our grandfathers.
Exactly. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper.
Yeah.
Maybe a little Tabasco. If I feel like the art of the soft-boiled egg has gone to the wayside. Everybody wants to make poached bullshit now and all that sous vide shit.
Yeah.
So this is in spirit for tomorrow. Wake up early, brew your coffee, make your eggs for the Masters, and enjoy a weekend.
Lucky's on the table.
Enjoy your weekend. Parting words, Simon, Dan.
Once again, thank you, Chase Elliott, for winning the race in the Cup last week. Wait a minute. What is it, Scott? Wait, Scott Conant has a steakhouse at Resorts World.
Is that where you're going? Wow, I didn't know that. He's
funny
awesome.
You mentioned that, Casey, because last I forget what we were watching. He was on like Guys Grocery Games or some shit, and I was trying to figure out what restaurants Scott Conant and who's the other guy, Chris Santos own or whatever. Apparently, Scott Conant owns a restaurant at the Seminole Casino in Tampa.
Really?
Somebody does. One of those fucking shop guys does. And I was like, that's like the last place on earth I would like to. Anyway, good job, Chase. Enjoy the Masters this weekend. It's a unique experience. We might not hope to Yahweh that we never see another November Masters, but the perspective on this, I think, if you've never obviously like us been to Augusta, this is the closest you're going to get to seeing it without people in the stands. And it's really, really something. I think it gives you a different appreciation for the golf course and for what those guys have to go through to play it. And I think the Giants are going to win this weekend. Let's go.
All right. Go Giants. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you back here. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Soriano.
I was
getting a look like, fucker.
No, I got nothing.
Enjoy your 20 inches of snow and bundle up, my friend. We'll see you back here next week. Shabbat shalom.